Betsy, thank you. It's also fitting, of course, that Texans should come here because this is the sesquicentennial, and we pay tribute to those somewhat more landlocked Texans who just the other day finished their wagon train tour around the state to celebrate the sesquicentennial. And I couldn't agree with you more. It is nothing nicer than having this parade led by the U.S. Coast Guard and having the rear or the stern on this day brought up by the illicit from Galveston, Texas. We'll be back with more tall ships in just a moment.
When David's not around, nothing takes his place. But wearing his Van Heusen sure helps.
Peter said I could have anything I wanted. So I took his Van Heusen shirt right off his back.
I love my puppy, my goldfish, and my daddy's shirt.
Van Heusen, for a man to wear and a woman to borrow.
An investment firm is only as impressive as it is responsive. Let's go. So when interest rates fell, we looked for new ways for our clients to make money and developed global opportunities like the First Australia Fund, a first of its kind and a way to take advantage of changing markets. While others may imitate it, we're busy surpassing it. If anyone can show you bold new thinking in the business of making money, close it. It's Prudential Beige, rock solid, market-wise.
Kibbles and bits and bits and bits. I long for my kibbles. I long for my bits. For my kibbles and bits and bits and bits. I long and I long for my kibbles and bits and bits and bits.
Kibbles and bits and bits and bits. More crunchy bits, more chewy bits. More different kinds of bits than any leading dry dog food.
Oh, how I long for more kibbles and bits and bits and bits. So long. So long.
The stern of the Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian ship, drifting across the Statue of Liberty, right behind us, which was rededicated and the torch relit by President Reagan last night. In what was, I must tell you from purely personal point of view, David Walper, pretty magnificent opening ceremonies. Congratulations. What have you got in store for us next?
Well, tonight we have the Americana concert with John Williams and the Boston Pops and Melissa Manchester, Barry Manilow, Whitney Houston, a free concert at Liberty State Park. And then we have America's biggest fireworks show. Not the world's biggest. Japan beat us on this one, but we'll have a tremendous fireworks show. Then on Saturday, we have all the great classical stars of the world coming to New York with the New York Philharmonic and Zuba Maiden.
Congratulations. Have a happy 4th.
Thank you.
David Walper, who produced so much of Liberty Weekend and has told you in part what you can look forward to for the rest of the day and for the rest of the weekend. We'll be back in just a moment.
On any given day across America, more people will go to one store than any other. For clock radios, coffee makers, jeans, towels and toothbrushes, just about everything. All around the country, this one store has such a name for good products at good prices that every month, almost half of America shows up to shop. If you're not one of them, maybe it's time you found out how the other half saves.
America's favorite store.
Kmart, the saving place.
The $12,000. LeBaron GTS. We built an American hero.
The best built, best backed American cars and trucks combined are made by Chrysler Corporation.
Tag. The games begin in August.
Start spreading the news.
Heard the news? Ounce for ounce, Philadelphia brand cream cheese has just half the calories of butter or margarine. So,
start spreading the news.
Rich, creamy, Philadelphia brand cream cheese. Since 1880, half the calories of butter or margarine.
Start spreading the news.
Manhattan, seen from the water. There is probably no other city in the world that has as intimate an all-round relationship with its harbor as does New York. 100 years ago, when the Statue of Liberty went up, the buildings here were 11, 12, sometimes a little higher, stories tall, and people complained they were going to shut the light and the air out. New Yorkers still complain about that today. New Yorkers have also let much of their waterfront go. The harbor has not been, at least on Manhattan Island particularly, very well maintained. But it is a place, nonetheless, where the ships can come and lie almost intimately, as one foreign writer observed some years ago, with the people of the metropolis. And there along the shore, ABC's Lynn Shure and ABC's Bill Blakemore. Let's go first to Lynn Shure, who's in Battery Park City.
Peter, you are looking at some absolutely remarkably well-behaved people. These folks here have been terrific, and you're talking about 100 years ago. 100 years ago today, they could not have been here. We are on the landfill that was created when the World Trade Center was put up, and now they're building apartment houses and offices here, and frankly, I think, and a lot of the folks here agree, this has been the best view in the house. From a strictly personal point of view, I must tell you that seeing all these tributes to the Statue of Liberty makes me aware of how very important and how very difficult the trip here to this country was. And I, for one, am extremely grateful that my grandparents made it, even if they didn't come in ships like these. Peter?
Thank you, Lynn. As we look at the Statue of Liberty, you can see it from every vantage point in this harbor. Let's go to Battery Park, what used to be called Castle Garden. Bill Blakemore.
Peter, you mentioned just now the intimacy in the city between the sea and the land. And this morning down here, we have a special intimacy, I think, also between the present and the past in this beautiful present sunlight on this perfect day. We've been watching all morning as the past has been sailing in all of its complexity from the Atlantic Ocean, the barks, the schooners, the full-rigged, square-masted ships, the Amerigo Vespucci just coming in now. And for 3 or 4 hours, these people have just been standing and staring at these astonishing sights coming in from the past. I think that's what the real meaning of this morning down here at the very tip of Manhattan has been all about. And of course, this evening from this very point, we're going to be ringed by fireworks barges, and under the sunlight today, we're looking at the past. Tonight, we'll be celebrating the present when the biggest fireworks display in the history of the United States goes up over this same point, celebrating all of these years of liberty.
Bill, thanks very much. And hope you don't mind. We'll just ask you to stay there for the fireworks this evening, which will celebrate, of course, the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. And that is why we are here today, reminding ourselves that 100 years ago, there were only 50 million plus people in this country. They'd stopped, for the most part, coming by sail, and they came by ship under the statue and to Ellis Island, and then over there to the New Jersey shore, out through the railroad yards and across the country. People, as we saw evoked in the opening ceremonies last night, of every nationality and of every station in life. It was, as the tall ships have reminded us today, sometimes a horrible passage, but a passage in the minds of virtually everyone, which was well worth making. There beyond the statue, the Woolworth Tower, the Woolworth Building, seen between the twin trade towers, built by a man named Mr. Woolworth, who wasn't very much accepted by high society in those days, and so he built that tower to impress them. He made his fortune here in this city, as so many people from so many different lands have done.